Also, that'd be a great crossover movie, Top Gun Batman.
Top Gun Batman.
Be better than Batman and Superman.
Danger Zone.
So yeah, all-time countdown. If you want me to do that, I can do that.
Hello, you are listening to Off Radar, It's a Movie podcast. I'm James Smith, a professional film and video editor.
I'm James Eatock, a freelance writer and illustrator specialising in 1980s cartoons.
And I'm Neil Brock, aka Nige, the man with two names, former film journalist and currently working in the games industry.
Each week, one of us picks a movie that all three of us either haven't seen in many years or in some cases haven't seen at all.
We each watch the chosen movie, return to the microphone and let you all know exactly what we thought of it.
He desperately needs her to survive.
It sort of handled some incredibly delicate topics incredibly well.
I will never watch this again. What was that?
If you fancy joining in and suggesting a movie for us to watch, why not tweet us at Off Radar Podcast
or email us on offradarpod@gmail.com.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, share, and by all means, leave a review.
For now, strap in, turn the volume up, and let's go Off Radar.
I'm James Smith.
Let me just go and change my shirt.
All right.
Hello, and welcome back to Off Radar. My name's James Smith, and I am joined by James Eatock.
Hello.
And Neil Brock.
Do you always introduce him first? Is he better than me?
Not always.
I'm outraged.
But wow. it's because I've got the but we call you Nige bit afterwards, and it just feels more of a full stop.
You've got to stretch it out a bit. Hi, by the way.
Hello. So welcome back. This is our last episode of season 3. So yeah, I guess thank you guys so much for listening, first of all. And also, yeah, keep on sharing the love and reviewing.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking, Jesus. Now, you'll probably know this if you listen, that at the end of every episode, we rate our films out of 10. And Mr. Eatock has been keeping a super spreadsheet, and I guess he's got some stats for us and a leaderboard of where all these films have fallen.
It's colour-coded. The spreadsheet is colour-coded.
Which is perfect.
Which is good for
this
a podcast. People love colours in podcasts.
People, yeah. Look at that. What do you think of that colour? Oh, it's good.
Oh, it is good.
Yeah.
But before I hand over...
That's Sertrues.
You guys have made this podcast what it is. You've recommended the films.
No, they haven't.
Us.
We made it.
Oh, yeah. No, they've helped. Yeah, it'd be nothing without us.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a few shouts out. Thank you everyone for recommending films for us to watch. We've had a lot this season, so I'm just going to list you guys off. So shout outs to Adrian Stephen, Ben Bishop, Chris Kiernan, Martin Smith, my dad, Chris Knowles, Michael Burling, and then Cody Brock, Nige's nephew. But yeah, all of you guys have recommended films for us to watch. So
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That we've actually reviewed as well.
And we've reviewed, yeah.
I was about to say, who was the dickhead who recommended Wimbledon? Then I was like, oh, that was me, wasn't it?
No, that was you.
That was literally, I wasted a recommendation.
Oh, I wonder where that's going to fall on
Spoiler.
The list. Just before we go into the stats, I've just got a few comments that you guys have written in, so I'm just going to read some off. First one is from Cody Brock, which was on Top Gun Maverick. Thought it was a brilliant film, full of action, and I didn't need to see the first Top Gun to get into it. The plane scenes are really good and realistic, and Cody gave it 10 out of 10. So good for you.
I can see that, Cody. I can see that. It's a very, it's people. If you look at online kind of feedback about the movie, they say it's a film that it's not only is it a throwback, but it's a break from the norm. Because Hollywood is so careful right now, and they just made a movie. They made a movie which was a sequel to Top Gun, rather than we've got to tick
and go
this
back and listen
box.
To that episode. But also, I read today that it's getting a cinema release in about a week again. Top Gun
wow!
Well, it's the film that saves cinema, so I can see why they're doing it. It's their way of getting people back in, especially on the big screen, like really big screens like IMAX.
Yeah, which I'd love to go and see, which is really out of date news because this is probably going to come in another couple of weeks. But there you go.
You missed it. You missed it if you wanted to see it at the cinema. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it was good. And then on Twitter, so Jim Halland Stan Era, I don't know if that's his new name. about the Batman. So he's given it 11 out of 10. So I said
11 out of 10.
How come?
That's illegal.
It's a bit of Spinal Tap.
What do you love so much about this film? I said, and he basically said, I love Robert's acting, the stakes, the villain, and a little spoiler here, so pause, and the Joker tease at the end. Fair enough. I mean, I did not like that film, but yeah.
I can't remember. I think we sort of liked it.
I definitely.
Tell us in a bit.
Yeah, I think
you guys were like, yeah, it was all right type thing. Ross Gould on Wally.
Ross.
I love the courage.
Where's Wally?
Not where's Wally. Where's Ross?
Oh, Wally.
Ross has written, I love the courage that they have to hold a mirror up to us, humanity, and say this is what we are doing to the world and ultimately ourselves, because climate change is so close to me, more as my life progresses. It's a 9 out of 10. Need to rewatch as it's been a little while. But amazing. It would be amazing to see this again with your pod and views and considerations in the forefront of my head. Thanks for the pod. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you, Camel. Thank you, Camel.
Lex Oliver on Surge. I think ultimately it's flawed in a few ways. It's far too hard to watch. The combination of just how desperate the content is with the camera work, which is quite disorientating, just makes it so hard work. But crikey, it stayed with me. So it's a solid 7 for me.
Yeah, I get that.
I kind of agree with that, I think.
As someone who lived on those streets, as you can hear in the podcast itself, it was a hard watch, but I think it's one that does stay with you.
As do the people following E-Talk round doing shaky cam every day.
You make it sound like Crank.
A really bad TV. Ben Bishop just
the double B.
Double B. I don't know why that made me laugh again. Went on a really long walk. I listened to Leo, Jim Carrey and Wimbledon. Felt like I just spent the weekend with you. Really enjoyed the exploration of a career. Thank you, Ben. We've really enjoyed doing those. So, guys, get in touch and list some more actors and directors for us to explore in season 4.
Oh, I like that.
The email address, Smith?
It is. What is it? offradarpod@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at offradarpodcast. Michael Burling got in touch on Twitter. He just said, love the review, guys. This is of Surf Ninjas, and thanks for helping me relive part of my childhood. Well, thank you, Michael, for putting that one to us. A film I'd never heard of and would never have found. I think we all kind of enjoyed. Yeah.
Oh, we definitely enjoyed it.
Enjoyed talking about it. Let's put it that way.
He's a big cartoon fan as well, Mr. Etox. So I think he's angling for a signed copy of one of your wonderful books. So there you go.
There you go.
Pimp it up.
Hit me up on the tweet machine.
Olivia Wilde's "Don't Worry, Dracula."
I think you meant for a second Olivia Wilde had messaged.
Olivia Wilde's written in to say, I got bored with old Harry Styles. What's Etox up to these days?
Yeah. This is about the one I love, which Ben Bishop recommended. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic acting from Moss and Duplass. Their relationship felt so realistic, and the dialogue struck me as refreshingly natural and believable. Loved the mystery and answered questions too, the eeriness and the somewhat dark ending. Great film.
I like the way he calls them Moss and Duplass, like he was just hanging out with them.
Moss and Duplass.
Me and Moss and Duplass, just chilling.
The final things, I just wanted to say, we had 2 celeb likes on Twitter this season, so I thought,
I remember one.
Point them out. So for Starship Troopers, which Oliver Desacqua recommended, I nearly forgot that one.
Yeah, how'd you forget Ollie?
Yeah, Dina Mayer liked to tweet when we were pimping that, who was in Starship Troopers. And then for You Cannot Kill David Arquette, which was a documentary we reviewed, David Arquette liked to tweet.
Of course he did.
Which was great. So they'll probably not listen to this.
Former WCW heavyweight champion of the world.
As we discovered. So yeah, I think that's it really from me. But yeah, guys, thanks for writing in. It's been really great reading those back and hearing your views on the films that we have reviewed. Etok.
Hello.
I guess I'm just going to hand over to you now and let you.
I wish I'd re-listened to how we did this the first time round, but
fasten your safety belts.
Yeah. Whoa. If you like stats, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
That was a terrible drum roll. That's me literally going. So drum roll. No, that sounds like a drum roll
in. Yeah.
Put a drum roll in, Smith. Season 3. So Smith's lowest rated movie of season 3. What could it be, everybody? What could it be?
I'm guessing we've got to go back to the grass courts of June.
Let's see what he's done there. That's very good, Smith. You tickled me with that one. Yes, you're right, Smith. Your lowest rated movie, 3.5, Wimbledon.
Yeah. I didn't love it. I mean, I think Etox. Yeah, didn't love it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, Etox. In fact, I won't give this away.
Yeah, I think we know where we're going with that.
I went a bit higher. I think I gave it like a 5, didn't I?
Nige gave it a 5. Yeah, Nige gave it a 5.
Okay.
I could have. Yeah.
So Nige's lowest rated movie. There's
no
two.
Idea what this is.
There's two. Surprisingly, one was Avatar, which I think we all... Yeah. Bear in mind, I just read an article about an hour ago that said Avatar 5 will take place on Earth. Avatar 5?
Yeah.
Nige's other lowest rated movie was John Wick. With 4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So both of those movies...
no hard target.
Yeah, but both of those movies he gave a 4.
Wow.
But then I was like, wow, John Wick he only gave a 4.
Was that
and then
bad?
I looked. I gave John Wick a 5. Smith gave it a 6. So it's not up there. And like I think I said to you, and I probably said it in the review, like John Wick 2 was the first one I saw, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, and we did that. That was, for those, go back and listen, that was one where we actually watched it in like together, and then literally recorded the episode shortly after. But so it was you can't argue that it was one that wasn't fresh in our minds. It was like
it's about as fresh as you can get.
It was as fresh.
Although we had a few whiskies as well, that may have. But I think that just brought the life out of me. So
my lowest rated movie, which I think we all know, is Wimbledon, which I gave a whopping 1 to, because but like I said, I think I said in the review, it might be because I've still got PTSD from going on a really bad date to see that movie, but also the movie was balls.
Has she written in yet, Smith? That
yeah.
No, I think Etox got a second date for Wimbledon 2. So.
Wimbledon 2. Oh God! Imagine if they did that. Made us
this time it's doubles.
That would be it. No, that's the sad thing.
The prequel is Queens.
Oh, that's nice, Smith. Oh, we're doing too many tennis jokes. People might be going, "What?" Yeah, right. Bishop is loving this right now. Ben's oh God, this is very amusing.
This is up my street.
Way up my street. Hello, Ben. How you doing? Season 3, 19 movies. We each give them 10 points, so each movie is combined at 30 points. 19 movies, that's a total of 570 points on offer. So 570 points on offer, which would mean every film was the greatest film ever. We gave the films a grand total of 387. So that proves
that's
that
quite high. That's like 6 to 7, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
I feel like we've done a lot better movies in season 3 in general.
Yeah,
that's because we've had more sort of listeners submitting films, whilst we're just like la di da di da.
Yeah.
Totals for each of us. So 19 films, so 190 points is what each of us could have awarded in total. In total, out of 190, I gave 118 points.
Okay.
I think Wimbledon plays a large part.
Yeah.
Smith jumped ahead there. Smith gave a total of 128.5.
Okay.
And then Nige gave a grand total of 141 out of 190.
Oh wow.
Big jump.
That's quite a jump.
Yeah, very generous.
It's all those...
like 7.5, I reckon.
Yeah,
Nige, no, I don't do halves.
No, you don't. You definitely don't do halves, Nige. Although when you work out averages, you do, but as we know, Nige does tens.
It's funny, like coming into this, I always thought I was really harsh when it came to like film criticism. I always thought, it's really difficult for a film to get a 10. But the reality is, we just happen to have done a few of them on this podcast. And as you said, we've done some really great films. And I think, like, I've not gone to the depths that you two have, the 1s and the 2s. I think it has to be an absolute. I don't think I could sit all the way through a 1 or a 2. That's kind of the way I feel about it. But obviously, for the purpose of this podcast, we always will. But yeah, it's very surprising to see I am Captain Generous and you two are
Captain
both
Generous.
like misery bastards.
No. Like when you work out the thing, like you'll see in the averages. Yeah, the reason I gave a big sigh there was like, yeah, I mean, Wimbledon I thought was an awful movie, and I kind of hate watched it to a degree. It was like, but then that's the thing. It's like
Self-harm.
Well, yeah, it's. I sat through in the cinema. One of the worst movie experiences of my life was the Miami Vice film with Colin Farrell. I sat.
Oh, wow.
I watched that movie in the cinema. Me and my friends, about halfway through, were like, we'd never walked out of a film. We were like, should we just leave because this is awful? But we stayed and watched it, and it was just horrendous. And that was like one of those where it's like, well, I've paid money, and I guess with these films, it's like, if some idiot suggests Wimbledon and then we watch it, it's like you've got to watch it, haven't you? So it's like if this was on, if Wimbledon was on telly, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore because this is garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of felt the same about Tenet. Weirdly, like halfway through that, I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I could probably turn this off. But
yeah,
I stuck with it for the pod. So
I like not to rag on your favourite film of all time, Smith, but Mr. Nobody. That was one where I was like, I want to check out this, but I've got to watch this for this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I watched that with my partner, and she wanted to stop watching it. We actually had to break it up into 2 nights because
we had to break up. It was like, bloody hell.
We broke up, but then we got back together because I made Gremlins, so it's fine. And also with Avatar, when you guys said we were doing that, I did a big sigh. I was like, oh.
Smith's highest rated movie, season 3, Smith, what is it?
Have you given a 10, Smith?
I've never given a 10 yet.
Smith's never, if my stats serve me correctly, Smith's never given a 9 or a 10.
Oh, not 9. I think Get Out was high for me, from what I remember. And I mean, Once Upon a Time in the West was high. I think Lock, Stock was high. One of those.
You're right on 2. So Smith gave 8.5, not quite 9, to Get Out and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, you muppet. Nige's highest rated movie this season?
I've given 2 10s this series.
Nige, you've given 3 10s, mate.
3? I remember Once Upon a Time in the West. I remember Gremlins. What was the other one? I suppose Muppets Christmas Carol.
What do you mean you suppose you gave it?
It was a sneaky 8/10.
I think you bumped it up to a 10 through 2 friend
through
marks.
Knowlesy and Alice Good. So they gave it the extra marks a piece. So,
yes. But Nigel's given 3 10s. Once Upon a Time in the West, Gremlins, and The Muppet Christmas Carol. Which
quite a mix.
Yeah, I was going to say, go to the Prince Charles and see them back to back, and you'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Once Upon a Time in the West in the middle of those.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be so good, like Nige's presentation at the Prince Charles Cinema. Hi, I'm Nige. I love movies. These are my 3 10s. People are like, this is quite the mix.
That's his playlist.
That's his playlist, yeah. My highest rated movie, Once Upon a Time in the West, because
and that was a 10, right, as well.
That was the first 10 I've currently first and only 10 I've ever given, because that blew me away. I was just like, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen of all time. So the averages for season 3. So this is when you total up all the points and then work out the average. So I'll start off with...
I like the way you've just explained what average is.
I know. just you never know who's listening.
Could you explain the high and low?
Have you listened to football punditry? Football commentators, they literally explain the basics. So he's kicking the ball. It's like, what is that what he's doing?
But what's a ball?
What's a BALL? So Smith's average is 6.8.
Oh, wow.
So, so an average Smith is 6.9. My average is 6.2, so I'm heading the other way. Nige's average, 7.4. He's up.
It's unbelievable, because my default for nearly all films is it's a 6, it's fine, it was all right. I recently got quite poorly and had flu and COVID in a short space of time, and luckily I spent a huge amount of time watching films, and nearly all of them it was it was fine, 6 out of 10, it was fine, sort of you 8 Miles and stuff like that. It's it's Biloxi Blues, things like that, decent films that I hadn't watched, 6 out of 10. But for this, I'm I'm talking about it, I have to like it a little bit more.
Well, I think generally, like we said, we have reviewed better films in this series.
Yeah, well, so the average
overall.
The average there, which what I just gave, and then you got the averages for all time, so all 42 movies. Smith's is 6.6.
Similar.
Mine is 6.3. Nige's average is 6.9. So it
it
was
is
this season was the one where you were like, you
I
were
love film again.
I love film. That's what we're rebranding. The podcast is I love movies.
Yeah.
I love film. So all-time countdown. If you want me to do that, I can do that.
Start the music.
So lowest rated movie with 8.5, Captain America.
Yeah.
To bear in mind as well, listeners, this isn't like the modern day Captain America. This was the America from 1980. I can't even remember.
1990 on the dot. 1990. Yeah. Next is Wimbledon with a whopping 9.5 out of 30. Then Tenet, Mr. Nobody, Surf Ninjas.
Oh, it's quite low. Poor Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas is surprisingly low, but
it was quite a bad film.
Terrible in a way. Leslie Nielsen as a samurai / robot /
I mean, it was funny, but
I don't even know what he was.
But it's still pretty shit.
It's wonderfully shit. Is our review of Surf Ninjas, I think. Red Heat, which was obviously the first movie we reviewed, 13.5.
We haven't done enough Arnie films.
We have not.
A couple
only
more
done one, I think.
Avatar, we gave 14 points to. Nomadland, 15. John Wick, 15. Coming above all those previously mentioned movies because of my rating is Convoy. Rubber Duck 10-4. Pull in my back door, if you know what I'm saying. Gave it 18. Gave it 18 points.
That's a different
Love
film.
it, Smith. It's Convoy 2.
Yeah.
Rubber Duck's Revenge.
Up the Rubber Duck.
Sounds like a Carry-On movie now.
It does. Up the Rubber Duck. Let's carry on trucking. Oh my god. Starship Troopers with 18.5.
I've seen quite a lot of articles since we did our podcast, like singing its praises. Obviously, we weren't.
The funny thing about Starship Troopers, we're all on the same page with it.
Yeah, we were.
Smith 6.5, Nige 6, me 6. So it is probably the most when you look at the ratings. Yeah. Above Starship Troopers, The Batman. Next, A Star Is Born. I forgot we did that.
Thanks to the dentist for the recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
The One I Love, Near Dark, Gone Baby Gone. Again, I forgot we've done some of these. The Rum Diary, which I really enjoyed that.
That wasn't very good at all. I can't believe that's as high as it is.
There's a few there.
I must have given that a 4 or a 5.
You gave it a 6, Nige. You gave it the same rating as Starship Troopers.
I'm taking that back.
You can't, Nige. Nige, you gave The Rum Diary the same rating as the next film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That was another one we had a cinema screening and a few drinks and did live.
That was a really good one. The next film, You Cannot Kill David Arquette. Next, They Live, of course, with Rowdy Roddy Piper, keeping the wrestling theme going. Surge, we gave 20.
That surprises me that that's as high as it is, actually.
Really?
Oh, really?
Well, I suppose, Nige gave it a 6, me and Smith gave it a 7. Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire. I can do that.
Top 3.
I can do that now. No. But we talked about this when we were reviewing that episode. I think I gave it a lower rating because you guys had seen it in your youth, and it was something we talked about with the Muppet Christmas. No, sorry, with Gremlins, where I think certain films you see in your youth and you make that connection to, you're going to like always carry that nostalgia factor. That's Convoy for me, for example, and for you guys, it's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Definitely for me, a childhood favourite.
Next, Promising Young Woman. I actually thought that was lower on the list, but I
enjoyed that. I think I gave that an 8.
Elf is up there, 20.5.
Great Christmas film. Go check that out.
Great Christmas film. This one made me smile because I still have fond memories of watching this. JCVD, which again was one of the earliest films we did. 21 points.
I didn't think. I mean, for me, that's far too high. But
Smith gave JCV
solid 7.
Yes, Nige gave it a 7. I gave it an 8, which I totally agree with. I still love that film. Smithy gave it a 6. Trial of the Chicago 7. That wasn't one Nige was really.
No, I wasn't so keen on that. That was a 5 or a 6 from me, I think.
Talented Mr. Ripley is up there.
That's good. It's a good film.
Witness with I nearly said with Harold Ramis, not with Harold Ramis.
That's a different.
Harold Bishop.
Harold Bishop.
Very interesting casting for that movie. WALL-E.
Are we in the top 10 yet, by the way?
Not yet.
WALL-E didn't make the top 10, but that is a surprise.
I mean, it is a bit of a surprise, actually.
Big surprise.
Well, I gave WALL-E a 7, Smith a 7.5, Nige an 8. Palm Springs, again, fond memories of that movie.
Palm Springs is really
Very
good.
good.
I would probably go back and looking at that now. I would give it an 8. What did I give it before?
You gave it an 8.
Yeah,
What did I give it? I think
I'd
give it an 8.
You gave it 7.5, as did I. So I think I stand by that. From Dusk Till Dawn, this one, looking at this is surprising to me. So From Dusk Till Dawn, I'm not surprised by my rating. I gave it a 9 because I love it.
I think I gave it a 7 or maybe an 8.
You gave it a 7. Smithy gave it a 7. Next one, the deeply in-depth character study, Moonlight, which is a really fun movie.
Yeah, that was a really good pick.
And now we're in the top 10.
Woohoo.
So at number 10 is Train to Busan, which I think which was a
Halloween
great movie. I really still again loved that. At number 9, Top Gun Maverick.
Okay, yeah.
The film that saved cinema, isn't it? Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 8, Happy Gilmore.
Wow.
Oh, it's all in the hips.
At number 7, Gremlins.
Wow. I guess that's Nige's 10. That's
Nige's 10.
Pushing it up there.
Well, it's fun. Like you'll see in a few, well, within a minute. Superman. Still, because obviously that was our.
I was surprised at how well that holds up, that film.
Oh, it's so bloody good. Top 5 are all from this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I suppose
that makes sense.
Superman is followed by First Blood and Get Out, but they've all got the same 24.5 points. So I don't know how it sorted it here. I should have maybe looked into that. I don't know how it's done that. Then we've got this is ridiculous. At number 3, The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wow.
Oh, Nosy would be very happy with that.
Nosy would be very happy with that. I mean,
out of all the films, number 3 it's just quite funny that is the third best film that we have reviewed.
Yep. I mean,
I can't.
We really bloody enjoyed it.
I gave it an 8.
The faces are like, meh, but
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
With 26.
So that's number 2,
points.
is it?
That's number 2. And at number 1, Once Upon a Time in the West.
So it takes it.
That Smith, I still think you should have given a high rating for, and I think you know it, right?
Well, I think, yeah, maybe.
it was.
How do we end this?
Come back next series, please. Recommend us some worse films so we can sort my average out a bit. Yeah.
And write in, get in touch. Let us know some films for us to watch. Email us on offradarpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Tweet us at offradarpodcast. Find us on Facebook, and we'll go away and watch them. Thanks again for listening. And to be honest, boys, it's been a blast. I've absolutely loved doing this. It's like a. Well, I was going to say it's like a book club. It's like a film club.
It's like a film club
because it is.
To quote Vinnie Jones in one of our highest rated movies, it's been emotional.
It's been emotional.
Oh.